What if I were to suggest that you play a key role in the awakening world? And that you are watching this because you have heard the call. We can start right now by opening our hearts and minds. Welcome to the awakening world.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Awakening World. I'm Love Coach Scott Catamas, and I've been excited about this show for a month. It's really got a lot of special elements. But before we talk about the topic, I want to just welcome back my good friend, my co-host, the person who makes all things happen, back from his time in England, is our beloved Omashar.
That would be me. Yes, Scott, indeed. And I have been really looking forward to tonight's show as well. I feel, I love the Pleiadians and I've always felt connection, but I really feel a deep connection with Arcturus. It's a very powerful presence to all of us in this universe. And I think that as we become more aware of our starry relatives, will find out how much of an influence it has had and is continuing to have as the dross gets cleared out from this density and we rise. And I'm not sure we'll hear what Vivian has to say about that. And so I only arrived back a bunch of I think yesterday evening. I don't know not what the time is, so my verbiage is minimal. Well, it's not because I can usually spout on and on, but that's my thought is my verbiage is minimal. But Scott,
I know that it's tender, but you were there visiting your mom.
I was there visiting my mom, and she's still around, which is very surprising because now 90% blind. She can hardly move at all. Her mind is so demented that cancel clear, because I see you as the true. This is my cancel clear to my mother, the true perfect being that you are. I see that, but on a physical plane, her mind is so demented that now she has a thought loop of about 45 seconds. So the moment you say something to her, 45 seconds later, she's asking the same question again. And so I just, imagine being almost blind, can't move, and this loop going around in your head. And so my thing was, when she got stuck in a loop, was just to insert some good things. And she is like a really wonderful confirmed atheist. And so I keep on dropping in. She keeps on saying, it's the end. It's the end. And I keep on saying, well, you know what's at the end of every end is a new beginning. And so I just try to insert that. And so there we are, Scott. And so what do we have tonight?
Well, what we have is a really wonderful show. Have you ever had the experience? Well, I'll talk about my experience. Even when I was a little boy, whenever I'd look up on a night when I could really see the stars, I'd always see this kind of splotch. There was always this splotch. And then I got a little older and I learned about Orion's belt, and the splotch was kind of near there. And then I learned that splotch was the Pleiades, the seven sisters. It's seven stars. And as the years went by and I learned more about the Pleiades, the more I really related to it. and studied it, and then had a certain psychedelic experience where I saw myself coming from the Pleiades to the Earth. And I've always, and as most of you probably know by now, Pleiadians, if you want to know what a Pleiadian looks like, it looks like Eden Amadora, and it looks like Margarita. It's like they are the classic examples of what Pleiadians tend to look like. Tall, blondish, Nordic, beautiful, wise, loving, compassionate. So how perfect that Eden is our co-host, and Marguerite is going to share with us all about the Pleiades. But before I turn it over to them, I think we need an Omashar song. We've waited too long for a live Omashar. We can't hear you. You're muted.
Beloved one, please hold me in your arms, supporting me, 'cause we have traveled so far, earth and star, we are. Earth and star, we are. The one desire unfolding, the one true love evolving, 'cause we have traveled so far, earth and star, we are. Earth and star, we are. And we feel it deep within, we know it in our hearts. We can bear the pain of separation no more. So come on, come and join us. Here's a taste of what will come when you let go, give in to the one. The sacred heart is pulsing, radiant light, revealing, 'cause we have traveled so far, earth and star, we are. Star, we are. And we feel it deep within, we know it in our hearts. We can bear the pain of separation no more. So come on, come and join us. Here's a taste of what will come when you let go, give in to the one. When you let go, give in to the one we are, earth and star. We are earth and star. We are earth and star. We are earth and star. We are. 'Cause we have traveled so far.
Let's go to gallery view, everybody, and send him lots and lots and lots of love. And of course, Omashar, also known here as Omastar, there's a lot of messages in the chat box.
I know it's kind of interesting because when autocorrect comes on, I come up as Smasher, which is really cool. So I'm going to adopt that in some way. And it's beautiful to see the faces. I love you all so much. It's wonderful to feel the community that we have here, all connecting to the other communities that we have. I just feel it right here. It's tangible, it's palpable. We've been building this thanks to Scott and other people like Ben Bowler, etc., for several years now. And it's I can come into my studio, sit down, turn on the computer, and I feel connected all the way around the world. And before it was just like fake it until you make it, and now it's kind of like I actually tangibly feel it. So thank you, and thank you for the welcome.
Welcome back. We love you so much. Well, all right, let's get going with the show. And how could we do a show on the Pleiades without having Eden Amadora as our co-host? And she truly, what I was saying a moment ago, I really meant it. I mean, not only does she look like a Pleiadian, but this woman has such a great heart. She's one of the most kind and compassionate people I know, totally dedicated to raising consciousness and doing it in a gentle and loving way, which is my understanding that's part of the Pleiadian way as well. So welcome back to the Awakening World, Eden.
Thank you so much, Scott. Such a joy and honor, and I can already just feel such good energy and love here. We have such beautiful, innocent hearts, all of us. And you're absolutely spot on. My vow is love, only love. And my mission is to first love and have compassion for myself, my humanity, so that I can be present to love and really see the beauty in others and remind them if they forget who they truly are and how divine we are.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it's great having you here always. And I'm going to remove myself and turn over you to introduce Marguerite and get us going with some questions.
I think, did you want a little short meditation originally before?
I did, and I got so excited I forgot. So
I know, I'm so excited to talk to Marguerite too.
No, absolutely. Please
Yeah.
take us into the meditation.
We thought it would be a really good way to just prepare for this transmission that we're about to receive from Marguerite and then Viviane later tonight. So, beloveds, I would like to invite you to take a short moment of coming inward with me. Let's first use our tools. We all have so many miraculous tools in our embodiment, rubbing your hands of light together. Taking a deeper breath and then placing one palm right on your heart chakra, right in the center of your chest. You can give it a little bit of energy, a spiral. This naturally releases oxytocin. It calms the nervous system. Leaning back a little more than we usually lean. We're so forward into the future in the West. So just resting back. The other hand of light comes down to the lower belly, holding that hara, that womb space. And we're going to close our eyes together and just invite your consciousness to dive inward, especially into the place behind the hand of light on your heart. Take a deep, deep breath there. with a sigh. Ah. And the next breath, we're going to breathe all the way down to the hand of light in the lower belly, as if you could fill your sacral area up with light, breathing deep. Another sound, quieting the mind, slowing down. Continue to breathe deeper than you usually breathe, leaning back a little more than you usually lean into that back body awareness, starting to dive into the space behind your heart and towards the back, imagining a light there. A very precious light, breathing into that light like an ember. Here is a place that the masters know as the sacred heart, deep inside the heart chakra towards the back and a little bit down. The base of this sacred heart burns a flame, and feeling every breath stoking this ember, connecting to this flame. In this place that you are touching into, imagining that this flame is unquenchable. It never goes out. It may feel a little lost sometimes when we're in our busy minds, but tonight and anytime you return to this place, you can anchor your remembrance of your essence light, the light you've always been, the light you come from, that you are connected to, that can never be snuffed out, no matter what has happened to you, no matter what you've seen, no matter the density of this world. This light is eternal. Just breathing into that light. One more deep breath, as if you could unfurl the wings of the heart, and imagining them right now as I speak that so. The winged heart flame. And as you open those wings, feeling this place where there's no need to protect, no need to defend, that love knows no opposite. And from this space, we open our hearts, we open our minds, and we open ourselves to the part of us that is more than our bodies, more than our thoughts, breathing into this expansive being you are. One more deep breath, feeling a luminous egg of light, an auric field expanding around you. And feeling that as we all amplify this light, we're like light nodes across the planet together right now, burning bright, lifting a beacon for others to remember who they are, lighting up the grid with this energy of presence, of love, of self-compassion, of unity. And as we tune into this beacon, we can hold that beacon bright for our benevolent star kindreds from beyond the veil, the multidimensional ones, the interdimensional ones that love us, that are cheering us on, that are witnessing us, and that are here amongst us. Perhaps sometimes vibrating too quickly to be seen, and sometimes letting themselves be seen. And so with an inner smile, we say, welcome, welcome. One more deep breath, bringing both hands of light together in front of the heart, bowing towards the heart. In this bow of deep honor, we open our eyes, and I bow to you. Welcome. I am so excited to welcome Marguerite Rigoglioso to our show. I'm going to bring you here. Scott did it. So hello, Marguerite.
Hello, hello, Eden. Hello, Scott, Omashar, Desiree, Deara, and everybody who's here, some of whom I know, some of whom I don't.
It's so wonderful to have you back on the show and to get to be the co-host for this very special show tonight. When we were last together, well, we've been together a couple times in amplifying the beauty of the divine feminine. You spoke so beautifully of Mother Mary and the mysteries of Mother Mary. And then we had a show recently about Mary Magdalene. And I remember you seeding the Pleiadian connection between the Marys and the Holy Family and these masters. So I am so just delighted to finally get to dive deeper with you and start to unveil some of that you're carrying, that wisdom, that gnosis, and that information. I guess I would start by just asking the top question that I am curious about is what does the Pleiades have to do with the divine feminine energy and the Marys?
Yeah. Well, the Pleiades, as we know them mostly around the world, are a feminine consciousness. They are the seven sisters who are considered seven mothers of our world, seven star seed mothers who lent us the larger part of our DNA. So, according to Greek tradition, um, more of our DNA is Pleiadian than any other. And many indigenous peoples around the world feel that we are from the Pleiades. So when we think about these seven mother ambassadors who came to our world, they are female in form and they came to inform us, literally, give to our form and also to our emotional and cultural life, a rebalancing back into the feminine after some times of travail. I think the Pleiades have been here numbers of times, but one of the most recent has to do with their advent as the Seven Sisters. And so the Pleiadian mission at heart is really a restoration mission to help humanity know who we are: divine, sovereign, multidimensional beings of love, all of these things that were incorporated into your meditation, and divine feminine consciousness that they are trying to help us stoke up again within ourselves is the key frequency that unlocks that remembering. So, the divine feminine is not just about gender, it's really a universal principle. It's the essence of what? Receptivity, intuition, sacred embodiment, compassion, deep listening, and that unity consciousness, which we can talk more about. But these are really the qualities that humanity must awaken now in order to realign with our original template and step into a higher evolutionary octave.
Mhm.
So the Pleiadians are the emissaries of this feminine principle. They are peaceful starkin who seed remembrance through vibration, harmonics, empathy, subtlety, heart-based intelligence. They're here to help us shift from domination to co-creation, and from hierarchy to cooperation,
Yeah,
um,
collaboration.
collaboration. Okay, and this is ultimately the feminine way and the medicine. And they carry the rose codes, the womb codes, the codes of the dove, the soul, the feminine consciousness, that symbol that travels throughout many goddesses of the ancient and contemporary times, including the Marys. So we can dive more into that, but that's basically just to get us going here.
Thank you. I realize that as you spoke, I'm going to start thinking of many more questions, and it's
Yeah.
just like, and so inspiring as you were speaking about them being our original star seeders and we having their DNA. I was remembering stories of other times on the planet, other root races, and the Lemurian epoch, the root race where we hear it was very harmonious, very feminine, very collaborative. And then there seemed to be some pretty radical shift towards the end of the Atlantean age. I don't know if you want to speak anything about your own knowledge about this.
Yes, yes, yes. We definitely have in the records that the Pleiades were intimately related to Atlantis. Okay. They came in during those epochs, those eras of Atlantis, but they really go back all the way to Lemuria and probably further. And that is translated, that is understood through their connection with the Amazons. That's how the Greeks called them, but this is really related to the Amazur people. Christine Nartumit channels this quite a bit from Toth. The Amazur peoples, who are like the royalty peoples of Lemuria, that is a Pleiadian seeding. So they've been here with us all along through the good, the bad, and the ugly. And now they're trying to nudge us awake again, which has been happening, quite a bit in recent decades with the advent of channelers and oracles, Pleiadian oracles, and so forth, and the information that's starting to stream through now.
This might be a little unusual of a question. There's a lot of myths of the ages going from golden ages and descending into more density. And there's stories about how Atlantis used to be a very open star port where there are many beings coming in and out. And my question is, do you know anything about, I guess we are in one of the darker ages starting to ascend now. Is this the reason why we're not having 3D encounters more with star beings? Is it they cannot be in the density that we're currently in with us physically?
Yeah, that's my understanding. There, but the thing is, they are with us because they are us, because they are in our DNA. So basically, what they're doing is they're sending the frequency codes to strum the lyre within ourselves. They're considered the seven strings of the lyre. We have that within our DNA. Our DNA are like those harmonic strings. So they're they're just beaming it to us to awaken the Pleiadians that we already are.
Mm.
Um, so they are here, really, is what we could say in 3D density. Now, are we seeing people walk around who are like, hey, and they look a little weird and different? Well, occasionally, so I think there are different types of more direct star beings who are walking around, but all in all, that portal hasn't quite opened back up yet because of the density right now. But, as that's going to be shifting, I think that's going to be changing over the coming eras.
This leads me to going back to the biblical writings about the visitations of Mother Mary being visited by angels, by an angel, right? And I'd love you to dive into the connection between the angels and the Pleiadians and the Marys, especially Mother Mary and the Immaculate Conception. Anything that you want to share in that way?
Yeah, I think I believe that the Marys and Yeshua are part of the Pleiadian mission, and the Pleiadian mission is part of the Sophia Christos mission. It's kind of like a figure eight, and I'm like, well, who's the umbrella? And they're like, well, we're both the umbrella, because we both answer to the same boss, you know what I mean? So it's like it's a whole different way of conceiving which egg is nested within which egg, they're together, right? So the Marys are part of the advent of and the situation of women or female beings coming to this planet and birthing avatars to help us along. So, we have the seven sisters of the Pleiades who, in the Greek tradition, are said to have given birth to various types of beings. Um, and then we have high level beings. And then we have Mother Mary, who came and gave birth to yet another, we could call him a Pleiadian being, although I think that they all have resonances and residences in all of the star systems because of the holographic nature of reality. But I feel that the closest kin for the Marys and Yeshua are the Pleiades. And that is verified by certain symbolisms that we see. The Pleiades are considered the doves, the dove mothers of the world. And so we have a lot of dove symbolism associated with Mother Mary down to the texts and so forth, that she ate like a dove, and that she worked with the angelic forces. So these angelic forces were working with the Pleiades, who themselves could be considered angelic forces. the Pleiades were also working with the beings or netters that we consider part of the Greek pantheon. Artemis, Athena, Demeter, Persephone. When you start digging into this, you realize, oh my goodness, this is all of a feather,
Right. Much, much
Um,
older stories than even Mother Mary and Yeshua.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they're considered the seven Hathors as well, so that brings them into Egypt. So they're everywhere, really. Um, and again, the advent of the Marys and the Yeshua Christos mission was to continue on with what I was just describing, that feminine reclamation, restoration, healing mission that has always been part of the Pleiades ever since, things started going down on planet Earth.
Right. I don't want to get too much into, well, who's the bad guys or why is it going down but if
Yeah.
they're, I mean, I was picking up on this kind of the Pleiadians have a very different message than what we're seeing playing out in the systems that seem to be kind of ruling the material world right now. It almost appears like some other ETs did get a foothold into this planetary world through the system. And I know people that are listening are like, yeah, and they've heard of these guys too. Not to go into any like fearful things. Is there anything you know about that, or what to do if we perhaps are a blend of all of this ET DNA? Is this about us choosing our own path of love over material greed?
Mhm. Yes, I do believe so. I do believe that it's about transmuting and bringing together our Pleiadian and reptilian DNA.
Yeah, I'm
It's
glad
just
you named that because I know that people
I know.
sometimes will just say Pleiadian good, reptilian bad, and I have heard it's not so black and white. There's actually a lot of shades of gray, and that the reptilians were the master geneticists, the Anunnaki, that also work to bring about humanity's evolution.
Yeah, yeah, it's a mixed bag. And I'm going to be talking more about how to deal with this on January 10th, 2026 will be Neil Gar's Portal to Ascension conference on the Pleiades and the Arcturians. Okay. So I will be sharing totally new teachings that was a little bit surprising to me about, because I keep asking, all this stuff about the reptilians and all that. And they're like, come away from that, my dear. They're like, um, that is not really what this is about. Yes, you've done a really nice, like 12, 13, 14 years into exploring the fourth dimension of the certain vibration of these beings. And now we're bringing you up into the fifth dimension so that you can bring others up. And we're going to, the presentation is going to be an experience of how we are raising ourselves up and doing that inner transformation
Yeah.
that is uniting the extreme edges of the polarity into an inner integration, because we have to do that. We have to love the all. We have to love the all that is. And the Pleiadian um, concept of unity consciousness, which is what they specialize in, is not just about unity for the nice people. You know, it's about unity for everything.
Right.
So how do we deal with the dark and the light in, these various realms of reality that we have starkly on our planet right now? So they're really coming forth, certainly within my experience, my bodily and oracle and research experience, to help us get to a new level. And actually, next year, my next training is going to be the Pleiadian Soul Awakening, and it's a whole training that brings all these levels of the Pleiades together to help us, uniformly kind of lift together. like never before. So I mean, it was prescient, I think, of you, Scott and Eden, to pick up on this topic because the time is now,
Yeah.
right? And there are some of us who've been weaving these threads for many, many years, but it's just becoming so obvious to me now that it's the Pleiadian mission on now. The
Yeah,
Marys are a part
no
of it.
other
Yeshua's,
time. Now is the
yeah,
time. If not us, who?
yeah.
If not now, when? This is the time.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
Exactly. So, we can continue to look more at the history and the cross-cultural aspects if you want, and also what they're teaching us. But I'm just setting it out there that like, okay, spaceship rising now.
Yeah, we're going to share more about ways people can find out how to join you in that soon. I do want to deepen with you because I think our viewers are also very sensitive. They're awakening to their higher listening and receiving information. And here you are, such a powerful, trusting channel for this frequency. And I would love you to share with us some of the ways that you receive information, some of the ways you started to recognize where it was coming from. Does it come in symbols? Does it come in imagery? Does it come in direct gnosis? Like, what could you share with our viewers?
Yeah, yeah. All right. So, Jit, thank you for that. To dig a little bit more into my personal experience, about the Pleiades, never heard of them, right? Um, until I started going to Barbara Marciniak's events in the San Francisco Bay Area. And I was totally captivated. I'm like, oh my God. And corresponding with that, I started learning about the Pleiades from the Greek perspective as I was looking into ancient priestesshoods and so forth. And then I had the whole discovery about the reality of divine birth, and come to find out that the Pleiadian seven mothers or divine birth priestesses essentially in their human advent. So they were much like Mother Mary, really. Okay, women who held these womb powers, and were here to help human women, awaken to their womb powers. So I was getting all into this, and then I started working with sacred medicines, and I started understanding the Pleiades on a whole, other deeper dimensional level, um, all while I was doing this excavation research about who the Pleiades were, looking at all these books and understanding and bringing to light things that had been hidden away in the Greek texts, that had cross-cultural validity, So I was very excited about that. And after, a number of years of doing that, I went to one of the beautiful redwood forests in the Bay Area, and I did a medicine ceremony out there. And I'm walking back to my car, and I swear it was like the voice was like way like 20 feet up in the air. It wasn't a voice, but that's my sense of it. And they said, you're a Pleiadian ambassador, remember? Remember? And I was like, oh, come on. I'm not going to be going around saying I'm a Pleiadian ambassador. And come to find out, it's a thing. Like Christine Day calls herself a Pleiadian ambassador and this and that. So I just started letting that work on me, over the years, being like, well, whatever, I could sort of hold that lightly. But now, and why did I call my school Seven Sisters? Like 13 years ago in 2012, when I founded it, I'm in the shower. Okay, what should I call this thing that I'm creating? Oh my God, Seven Sisters Mystery School. So it's almost like now I'm only now coming into the full fruition of this. I thought for a long time, oh no, my stopping point will be the Marys, but no, this is like continuing on. And so I continue to do this deep level research. I also continue to start now to connect with Indigenous people who believe and have stories and histories that they came from the Pleiades, and that we're all starting to unite now across the races and so forth. So while Eden, yes, you are a fine representative of the Pleiades are in every single culture. And the thing is, they seeded all of us. and they have a way of shape-shifting, and they look like every single race. That's part of the magic of the Pleiades. So there's no one look, there's no one type. This is a universal reality.
I
And
had an yeah, I
it's
had an
what unites
experience.
us across races. Okay.
I had an experience where I was contemplating the Pleiadian message recently, and I just got this hit. I wonder what the Tibetans say about the Pleiades and the Pleiadians. They have archives that go back 10,000 years of scrolls. And I just went down the rabbit hole around Tibetan connection. And yes, they believe they are seeded from the Pleiades, the
Oh my
Tibetans.
God.
So I second what you're saying. It's not about being Nordic or any of that.
No, all the
I'm
basic.
going to come in for an interesting other connection like that. Um, a lot of us go to Maui. That's a magical place. And there's a very special place called Walo Point, which is where several of my friends have created retreat centers. And the Hawaiian heritage is that Whale Point, it's a historical fact that that's where Kamehameha went for his vision quests because there was a direct connection to the Pleiades.
Yeah,
And all the Hawaiian kahunas there all talk about the connection to the Pleiades. So it's so cross-cultural, which is really, really cool.
that's right. At Mateo Tepe, erroneously named Devil's Tower, in Wyoming, where they filmed whatever the heck it was,
Close
close.
encounters, yeah, of the
Yeah,
third kind.
that's a major Pleiadian portal.
Hmm.
Sitting Bull would contemplate them there. I had a massive experience that I've talked about, there, doing ceremony there. So, Hindmarsh Island, the waters of Hindmarsh Island in Australia. So there are various places considered Pleiadian portals. I mean, this is so cross-cultural, and I'm really, one of my missions in this work is to bring this up and out, and for us to understand, because it's just one of the great unifying principles is our Pleiadian history and our Pleiadian understanding. That's what is going to heal us, to help us understand our common humanity.
Beautiful, Marguerite. I'm so glad you're doing this deep work that's so needed right now. And I know that people have been asking questions in the chat. There's been a few that have flown by because I was so immersed in your share. And I think that people do want to know a little bit more about our genetic kind of origins. I think that we hear about people calling themselves hybrids, and you had said we all are, right?
Yeah.
We all are. Is there anything else like would people have a particular maybe calling to deepen with a certain one of their elements if they have a certain kind of temperament or nature? There may be some differences between someone who resonates more with like the Arcturians than the Pleiadians, or what is your experience with that?
Yeah, well, what I received, from Pleiadian guides is that, um, those who lean more, perhaps they have more Pleiadian DNA or whatever we might call it, those who lean more toward that, um, have certain energetic qualities, a lightness of being. They're telling me a luminous or glowing quality around the eyes or skin, a kind of radiance, an elegance or grace in their movement, even if they're not consciously aware of it. Sometimes people feel peaceful in their presence. So it's a frequency that is broadcast through their presence: heart warmth, empathetic radiance, serenity, benevolence, the capacity to hold others in unconditional understanding. And other star lineages often carry equally distinctive energy signatures. What I'm told, Syrian starseeds tend to feel strong, steady, and grounded, protective, and priestly, with an energy that's clear, structured, and deeply committed to truth. And
Feels like
see,
sacred masculine codes, like some
mm,
some of the more side of we would say masculine
I feel that with Assyrians. Arcturian lineages often radiate refinement and precision and almost geometric presence, highly perceptive, mentally sharp, spiritually scientific.
Mm.
Lyran, which are the almost the progenitors even of the Pleiades, um, those who have more Lyran leanings may embody regalness, warmth, leadership, rooted in feline or leonine strength with a natural dignity and a sense of ancient wisdom in their bearing. Andromedan beings tend to feel ethereal, artistic, sensitive, and emotionally wise, carrying an emotional depth, a longing for beauty, harmony, and cosmic home. And so, these are just some of the key signatures of some of these races. And then, of course, there are others. There are considered at least 13 star systems that have been in close communication with Earth. And I'm sure there are many more beyond that. But the point is that it's really more about like if you heard the name Pleiades, did you feel, ooh, a curiosity? Or when you started learning about them, did you feel really drawn like me? Or does that happen for you with Sirian? Yeah. Or Arcturian or Andromedan is another one for me as well.
Yeah, that was really fun to have you give us the transmission for
Yeah.
those that you did name. I know that our listeners are going, "Oh, that's me." Or people are
Yeah.
starting to get a ping about that. Um, we have a couple great comments, so I'm going to read them and see if you want to respond to anything. George is talking about the Pleiadians and the Syrians who mentored in his understanding the Mayan culture and all their wisdom, their knowledge of the cycles, the calendars, our unique soul purpose characteristics. So he's bringing in the Mayan culture.
Yeah, absolutely. There is a really strong connection with the Mayans and the Pleiades, even in their calendar. Where the Pleiades had like a central role in their calendar or their star system. Um, so, yeah, and because, of course, the Mayans are said to be related refugees of Atlantis, just like the Egyptians were. So um, they would have that very deep ancient connectivity and information about the Pleiades, our original, our progenitors, if you will. And I don't know as much about this Sirius, but I leave that to other researchers and so forth. Just get busy and have fun with it. Have your own communication. See what's already in the historical record or the cultural stories, and then go into your own meditations, your own medicine ceremonies, your own dream time, your synchronicities. Everybody can connect with our star allies.
Yeah, I had a very magical experience when I was 17 on the island of Martinique. I don't know if this is a good time to share about my
Yeah.
personal
Please do. Please
contact.
do.
I had been with a group that didn't speak English very well. I had been living in Paris and was there with all French speaking people on a fashion shoot a long, long time ago. And I remember going into states of meditation because I was tuning out the French that I didn't understand, and all day kind of in my own deeper brainwave state, looking at dappled sunlight, very quiet on the inside, kind of meditating without realizing I'd been meditating. And one of the last nights, after about a week of this, I felt really drowsy earlier than usual. So I decided to lay down, but thought, oh, it's only like 9. I'm not usually going to sleep this early. I looked to the digital clock. It was like 9:02. I still had my hair and makeup done. I needed to take a shower. I had full dress on. I just relaxed, very drowsy feeling. And then I opened my eyes, and there was a being standing at the end of my bed. And we had head to head nonverbal telepathic communication because I was startled to see her, obviously feminine, very human looking, but very radiant, kind of a little bit more almond eyes, long, straight hair. And I said, "How did you get in my room?" And she said, don't be afraid. I'm often with you. You don't usually perceive me." And then she said, I'm going to take you somewhere. I'm going to show you some things. And I thought very quickly, what about my life? What about my family? And she said, time is not what you think it is. Time is not linear. You will not be missed and you will be safe. And she was very reassuring. And then she says, but you will not remember everything for quite a while. And then I just remember opening my eyes and looking at the digital alarm clock, and it was 9:06. It was like 4 minutes. So I hadn't slept deep enough to go into REM state. And I remembered this vividly for years. I was in Cape Town having a healing with a kind of a psychic channel who did Reiki years later. And he said, well, hello, one of your guides is here. And I was like, is it female? And he's like, yes. Do you want to tell me if you've seen them or you know anything? And I described it. And he said, do you know where she's from? And I said, no. And he said, Pleiades. So it was just such a confirmation for me in that those younger years before I had read anything about them or
Hmm. So they're coming, they're here, you know. People are having their experiences. It's wonderful. That's a powerful medicine story to share.
yeah, it was so dreamlike. But then
Mhm.
reading about the nature of dreams, you need to be in a deeper sleep state. So it was a
Yeah,
in-between space, like a liminal space.
yeah, for sure. And you were open enough to be able to see the being that's always there.
I feel like she's been with me and guiding me. And one person had said to me, what if it's another you, like ancient future self? We're
Mm,
so multidimensional.
that's
Yeah,
right.
there's so many possibilities.
There are, and it doesn't matter because it's really all the same. Like the Pleiades are just a mirror for our higher selves, and our higher selves are a mirror for the Pleiades. You know, so it's just about getting busy now with, well, what are their teachings?
If you were to simply give our listeners like the quintessence, I've heard you talk about unconditional love, unity consciousness. If you had to do like just a few more of their like prime teachings for us to feel into, what would you say?
Yeah, love and compassion. Um, unity consciousness and the cultivation of our sovereignty within that. Um, and awakening to our multidimensional knowing, seeing, and being. I feel, and I would say, fourthly, awakening to a greater degree to the power of the feminine and the power of the womb in its many capacities.
Mhm.
So it is they are really all about a re-honoring of women and the feminine on the planet to help balance out what has been happening so that we can return to that Lemurian um, ideal. And again, it doesn't mean women good, men bad. It's about incorporating the yin energies into ourself, balancing them with the yang energies, and really integrating, all of these hybrid projects and programs that have gone on in our own bodies, in the human form.
Yeah, there's so much I could say to that. Like it seems like there is interest in genetic experimentation here. There's a lot of that going on, and it seems like when you tune into the little device in the news, there's people racing to create artificial wombs and robot AI mothers, and I'm just like, why? Like,
Yeah.
why are you trying to like deny the beauty of the feminine and the mother principle? It's
Yeah.
anti-life. So I
Yeah.
feel in your share, honor life, honor the mother, honor water, honor the intelligence, divine feminine intelligence in all of us. It's
Yeah.
life itself.
Yeah. very much so. Yeah.
Is there, Scott, I don't know how much time we have left for Marguerite's interview, but I would love to ask her if there's like a final transmission that we can just put you by yourself, anything that from your heart you want to open to the Pleiadian energy through you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, what I'm receiving is hello, friends. Hello, Earthlings. Hello, brothers and sisters. Um, yes, this is the time of the great reawakening, the great restructuring, recalibration. There are enough people who have opened their consciousness on the planet for this to be able to happen in a coordinated, exponential way. And I just get that they're very happy about that. And they just want more of us to open to that consciousness now, trust it, follow it, gather together around it, like we're doing for this, like Neil is doing with his Pleiadian conferences and so forth. Um, and they're just saying, and call upon our multiplicity of intelligences to support you in the specifics, and the logistics of how you can do this on planet Earth now. There's so much information for you to have, implement, integrate into your lives that will make your life so much better and will help the ship, of your planet turn around now. And it's a very exciting time because we're all awakening to the reality of our star kin. And there's so much support there. There's so much comfort for our human travails, traumas, woundings, and so forth, as well as our cultural evolution, okay? Because the cultural evolution happens from the individual, the collection of the individual healings. And so, like the Marys and the Sophia Christos mission, they are here for both aspects of that. And there is so much ahead of us in terms of creative opportunity, creative potential. Planet Earth, can become an Eden again on a new rung of the spiral.
So beautiful, Marguerite. Thank you. We have a question. Will you share again about a guest is calling it the portal of ascension. I think it's what you mentioned you're going to be speaking on. And Scott, do you want to come on too? If there's any links you can share or take us through Marguerite's site and share more.
Yeah, absolutely. First of all, what a beautiful discussion. And I could watch the two of you converse forever. Thank you.
It's a great chemistry. I always appreciate being with Eden and you, Scott, too, really.
No, it's wonderful. And I love that you called your organization Seven Sisters before becoming conscious of your connected Pleiades. That's like such a amazing.
It was like the carrot leading me at the edge of a stick. I mean, I knew about the Pleiades. Yes, I'd been following Barbara Marciniak, but to call my school Seven Sisters before I even knew I was a Pleiadian ambassador, or acknowledge that I could even be an oracle for the Pleiades, it's just that's called following your instincts.
Yeah, trust.
And they're just asking us to follow our instincts.
Well, I'm imagining that many of our audience members are going to want to get more Marguerite. So I just put into the chat box for our Zoom roomers some of the links, but we're going to take a look at her website and some of her wonderful offerings. And as we were just describing, her website is Seven Sisters. The seven is spelled out SEVEN, Seven Sisters Mystery School.com. Seven Sisters Mystery School.com. I'm going slowly so that all of our Facebook and YouTube friends can track it and write it down. And Marguerite, what are some of the offerings you'd like for our audience to know about?
Yeah, so if you just scroll down on that home page, I think the main thing that's applicable for everybody is the Inner Sanctum Temple, which is a monthly experience where we have 3 live events each month. One is a teachings call, an oracle or teachings call. One is a sacred circle with the Marys, and one is a group mentoring experience. And so I have a different theme each month of what we're studying about and looking at and experiencing together, more important. And also within that is almost the entire repository of my library of teachings. So there are 2 major master classes in there with Pleiadian titles where I talk about in depth much of my vintage research and then my newer research about the Pleiades. And then there's a course called Reclaiming Our Starry Origins. You get all of that as a part of this membership. Okay. So that is where a lot of my material is residing right now. And the Pleiades, the Pleiadian Councils of Light, and my guide Electra, along with the Marys, are really governing and underpinning and informing all of the teachings and the experiences that we go through in a live way in this experience, this membership experience together. So that's how I'm delivering most of my teachings these days, is through the Inner Sanctum Temple. And then if you want to just get a little taste, if you scroll further down on the home page, you can opt in for some guided meditations from some of my circles with the Marys, where you can experience some healings and empowerments from Mother Mary especially, and also Mary Magdalene. Yeah, the soothing and healing guided meditations right there. Okay. And then, as I said, I'm right in the midst of the Mary and Magdalene priestess training, but for 2026, I will be doing the Pleiadian soul activation training. And I'm so excited about that. We're putting that together right now. So just, opt in for something on the website or sign up for the newsletter. You'll be kept informed of everything. And I often provide, informational blogs and videos and things like that every Sunday.
You mentioned something fun that you're going to be a part of. Will that come out on your newsletter soon so people can find out about it later? Or do you
Yes,
want to say it
yes,
again for them, the name of it?
yes. You could right now go to Portal to Ascension or look it up online. I don't know if it's portaltoascension.com. And Neil Gaur, Gaur, has many of these kinds of conferences. He's doing a Pleiadian and Arcturian conference online on January 10th, 2026. So you can
So
go there, you can see the lineup.
I'm going to actually take people there and then have a special announcement. So Portal to Ascension is actually one of our beloved colleagues.
Blessed be.
So that we're now doing once a month, starting December 6th. Once a month, we're going to do a program with Neil.
Oh, I love Neil. He's just...
And so here are the upcoming online events. And I'm imagining that if we browse pretty quickly, we will see the one that you're talking about. Here it is, the Pleiadians and Arcturians. And guess what?
There's
Vivian
Marguerite.
and Marguerite are both a part of this. So,
Yeah.
but this is a full 3 hours, 6 hours. Do you know how long this one's going to be?
I think it's anywhere from 3 to 6.
Yeah.
So I'm not exactly sure, but yes, it should be very rich. And Neil, like you, like you both, is really very much into the research, but also the mystical aspects of it, and he weaves it all together. So He's just one of our bright lights on the planet.
Yeah, I'm really excited about. So just like we do a soul search show once a month, we're going to be doing a portal to ascension show.
So great.
So definitely we'll promote that again. And always keep us updated, Marguerite, on any new programs that you have so that we can let our audience know about them.
Yeah,
I
it's
will.
such
Thank
an
you so
honor,
much.
such a pleasure to get to speak about these things with you and go so much deeper. I'm so grateful for everything you shared tonight, and especially those qualities that we can look out for now. And for the people catching this replay, I'm going to go back and write them down so I'll be
Yeah,
tracking
yes,
people.
yes. Well, the honor is really mine. I'm always so happy to be here, and I'm delighted to be here this evening, today.
Beautiful.
It's
Well,
evening here on the West Coast.
and we've got two great treats coming up. We have the Awakening World premiere of Eden's new song, and then you get to meet Viviane Chauvet, who you'll be collaborating with Portals for Ascension in January. And so Viviane just came into the Zoom room.
Excellent.
We're
I'll
excited.
hang on a bit.
All right, Marguerite, thank you so much
Wonderful.
for being with us.
Thank you both.
Thank
Lots of love to
you.
you and everybody here, all of our Pleiadian friends who've joined us in this global gathering.
Thank you, Marguerite. You know, Eden has been co-hosting with me for a few years now, but there's like this wonderful new thing. She's recording an album. So when she co-hosts, we get to hear her latest song. And she co-hosts about every 2 months. And about every 2 months, she has a new song.
They're rolling out almost every month now. I just have to catch up with you.
Well, I have to do more co-hosting then. I'm so excited for you to share this song with our audience. I heard it for the first time last night. And as I heard the closing chorus, I said to myself, that's going to stay in people's minds. Sure enough, all night long, it was in my head. It's a beautiful song, and really pay attention to the lyrics because they start off very personal, but I think they're personal in a way that many of you can relate to. So I'm not going to say anything else. I'll turn it over to you, Eden, to introduce Only Love.
Thank you so much. Yes, this song is my personal journey to really embody true love. Enjoy, and here we go. Oops, now I've lost it. Sorry, I'm gonna have to get it again. One quick sec, Scott.
Take your time.
I guess I can speak that at first I was a little nervous because it is so personal in the beginning, but this is kind of the journey that my connection to Mary Magdalene has shown me. It's about honoring our humanity and our divinity. And on that note, here we go.
I thought I lived and I would die for love, but not the kind that's true. I chased obsession and it fucked me up. I'd crash and burn when it was through. I wrote the script, yet I laid the blame and made a villain of a few. And when my fantasies went up in flames, I was forced to face the truth. Only love is real, and only love
Oh, isn't that just the most beautiful message delivered in the most wonderful way? And watching your enthusiasm, Eden, as you sing, or as you lip sync your song is also just beautiful. It's beautiful.
Thank you, Scott. I would have belted it, but I think it would have glitched the whole recording. So I didn't want to do that.
Oh, no, it's absolutely beautiful.
This,
And
this is
uh,
my vow. I even tattooed it on my arm in white. Love, only love, lest I ever forget.
well,
Just
and that's been your motto as long as I've known you.
only love is real.
Only
Uh,
obviously.
it's like Marguerite said, the Pleiadian um, teaching about love everyone, love everything, like be the antidote to a world that forgets, to the others who have forgotten temporarily. I feel
Mm.
like that is the key right there.
I want to read just a few of the comments that have come in. Marguerite just wrote, "It takes so much courage to express oneself that way. Bravo, Eden."
Thank you, Marguerite.
Um,
Thank you.
Shoshana says, "I'm feeling Isis weaving through your song as well." Sarah Grimshaw writes, "This is so beautiful." Susan Bloomquist, "What a lovely message for these times." Kira Craig, "Gorgeous song." Dr. Laura, "Gorgeous song." Eden, "It's a memorable one for sure." And on and on and on. The messages are coming in with.
I quickly created a link for you all. It's not officially released yet. This is a sneak preview, and I sent it to Scott so he can share it. It's available now on SoundCloud. It'll soon be up on all streaming platforms. And I would love to ask your help when that happens. I learned that if you get your whole community to like listen on SoundCloud, then the algorithm will take off. So I'll let you know when it's officially released soon. I'm just,
I put the link into our Zoom room. For those of you watching on Facebook and YouTube, keep an eye out. SoundCloud.com/Eden Amadora. And that's where you can subscribe. And then as soon as Only Love or any of her songs are available, you can get them. So that's a way to do it.
yeah, there's quite a few there that are just kind of waiting for their official release. So if you want to sneak preview, some of the extended versions are on SoundCloud, and I'm learning as I go. It's a different world. I used to have a record deal and it was all about, the label would promote you. Now it's about community and finding your resonant beings that are just like, yes, I resonate with your message. And thank you all for being such a loving, supportive community. It's felt very safe and very wonderful to be received in this way.
Thank you so much, Eden. We love you. And Eden will be back in a moment. But I get to have the honor of introducing our other featured presenter tonight. And she's been on the show a few times before. And I know that people love her. Scotty Satori, by the way, is always posting in the chat box, "Vivian Chavez just said," and puts in the latest from Vivian. So she has many, many fans and friends in our audience. And here she is. And for anybody who doesn't know her, Vivian Chavez is an advanced Arcturian hybrid avatar. She's also a published author, international public speaker, the creator of the Arcturian Energy Mix Healing, a multidimensional way of healing for conscious evolution. She's an advocate for planetary ascension and the owner of Infinite Healing from the Stars, LLC. They've made an entire movie about her, which we've promoted before. She has a wonderful book series, Wisdom of the Silver Sisters. We're talking about the Seven Sisters. She's the wisdom of the Silver Sisters. And she always has so much to share. So welcome back to the Awakening World, Vivian.
Oh, thank you so much, Scott. And it is such a joy to be with all of you. And it's true, it is a very warm and loving community. And of course, I want to say a big thank you to Scotty, because he's such an advocate for putting the bridge of creating together a liaison of joy. Scotty, you are amazing, and you always cheers loudly, and you always supporting, whether it's our Arcturian university community here with the awakened world. You're like an ambassador in between the two. So thank you so much to you, Scotty.
Mhm.
Thank you.
You know, looking at Scotty and his backdrop, right off the bat, that leads me to a question that I was going to ask, but what is the relationship between dolphin consciousness and either, I don't know if it's specifically Arcturus, Pleiadian, or galactic family?
Are you asking me? Okay, yes, of
Yeah.
course. So if you look at from a standpoint of galactic perspective, we recognize that there are countless of different sentient life form, group consciousness, star nations, and the whales, the cosmic whales, and the dolphins are among the galactic communities. So they're very intertwined into the Earth evolution. They're great guardians of sacred sound frequencies, the oceans. They maintain the balance of the ecosystems, and so many star seeds or ancient soul, like probably like Scotty and others, can really relate to their beautiful wisdom. They're such high vibrational being, and we too, the Octurans, recognize them. In fact, just a fun fact quickly, when we were in Australia last year, Peter, who you've met, Scott, here on the Awakened World, my husband and I, we were in Sydney. And so we took on a boat ride to go commune with the whales. And there was also whales children and the babies who come with their mothers. And so I brought forth Arcturian light codes that as a conduit, I brought forth into the oceans. And I can feel the group consciousness of the whales nation coming and saying, we welcome you, Arcturian ambassador. We're going to continue to expand those light codes. And it was just, I witnessed those light codes being expanded, carried through, even through sonar frequencies and movement and relationship and alchemy with the sacred waters, and how it really connect all the water sources of the world. So it really unified the planets and unified the ecosystem and unify all of us. So I honor the dolphins and the whales. I hope that.
Yeah, that's fascinating. So a lot of what we've been talking about that we'd like to get your feedback on is how can people know about their star lineage? And perhaps you may want to describe what makes you kind of unique, your unique hybridization, and how many hybrids are there? On one hand, I guess we all are hybrids to some degree because there is ET, genes somewhere within all of us. What's your take on it? What can you share about that part of the story?
It's a wonderful, multifaceted question. So let's explore from a more obvious global consciousness first. So the human species is, of course, recognized as galactic royalties because within your gene code and even the design of the architecture of your DNA, there are so many markers that comes from countless species, whether it's the Pleiadian, whether it's multitude of Sirians, whether it's Lyrans, whether it's Venusian, whether it's many others known and unknown by names even. So within the architecture, the natural organic architecture of your DNA, there are many, many encoding that comes from other species, from even different stages of evolution in the multiverses, different interstellar groups, star systems, galaxies, and so forth. So in that sense, we can say that as a species, the Earth human can be considered to a certain degree, a certain form of hybrids, only because through the DNA architecture, the design, you carry so many genetic right there and encoded. And in time, as you're continuing to be willing to expand in consciousness and awareness and the heart's intelligence, you're going to learn to tune in to those genetic markers in very specific genes or even memo groups within your DNA that will allow you to really understand the history of each of the species that has been contributed to the making of your DNA template for the human race, while also understanding, what aspect of their karmic lessons would you be simply turning off. Same thing with your earth human genetic lineages on mother and father, or even ancestral obligations, unfinished, resolve unfinished business, unresolved wounds. Everything is encoded, and you can learn to recognize it with universal understanding, with compassion, and also a sense of completion. This is part of where things are really heading naturally, and into what we call the organic higher timeline for the reascension process. So I want to bring that first so you can feel very much included. And there's no difference in the sense that, like, for example, us, the Octurians, we simply have evolved in a completely different sphere of reality. We come from a completely dimensional space than the solar system or the earth humans, and we have simply evolved over millions of years. So we're very, very ancient beings. We have learned from our lessons, we have learned from growth, we have learned from thousands of years of cycle of evolution to get to where we are today. And so it is the same principle with any species you can encounter. And you might be surprised to see that the diversity in the multiverses is just as predominant as it is here on the planet. Because if you look here just on one planet that you know as the Earth, Mother Gaia, or Terra, as she is known in the galactic ways, is that she is the home, the embodiment of so many species. Countless species of insect, diversity of human beings, tree nations, aquatic beings, and so forth and so forth. That includes the elementals of this planet. So imagine the reflection in the multiverses. Some species are at very similar state of conscious evolution as the earth humans are. Others are a little bit behind you. Others are super advanced compared to your current state of evolution, and others are very neutral. You can see this very, very diversified. So the word hybrid, as you mentioned, Scott, is really much, we have to look in terms of how it applies, what the circumstances is, what is the soul contract, what is the higher purpose and the history behind it. So this is why when I say I am a Nocturian being, I'm an ET consciousness in a very specialized, engineered, hybrid human form. So the hybrid word apply only to my body. Hi, I'm the Octurian ET being. So this is the way I have chosen to be on the planet, to be able to walk in your shoes. So if you want to understand somebody, the expression walk in their shoes, embody who they are. Like Eden, when she sings, I want to walk her shoes. I want to know where she's coming from. I can feel a Pleiadian influence. I can feel different aspect. This is how we do it. This is how we understand. We walk with you in your shoes, so to speak. So I chose to send forth my Octurian holographic consciousness into an hologram that was designed by the Octurian and the Andromedan, by the way. We utilize, we're expert on holographic technology, and that technology doesn't exist on your planet just yet. That's further down the road, so to speak. And we utilize a very, very specialized way of constructing a vessel, a body, into the form of a hologram. And then in time, when it's ready, then my Octurian consciousness, or an aspect of me, has entered that template. And then, long story short, I came about and I was returned to the planet. That's a very rare way of approaching the word hybrid. So again, it's my body, not me. I'm a Arcturian being. Now, we talk about the human species. That makes sense in that sense. We can talk about also some of soul fractal of being who represent different star nations. And when they come and they return in incarnation to the planet, their original soul family or their soul star group may say, once the embryo is in the body and the woman is pregnant naturally, and the soul agreement has been made and you will return in that body as a human being, we may introduce some additional DNA genetic material or some addition that will help that soul to fulfill their purpose. So by definition, they could be considered as a form of hybrid, but they still was born from the union of two humans, and they were, born and then grew up in the field as earth humans, even though their consciousness at the soul level, they represent that star nations, whether they're Syrians, whether they're Antares, whether they're a multitude of group of Andromedans who return that way. So this is why the word hybrid, it has to have a very loving, compassionate, and detached approach to this. And we understand that within your conscious human field, lots of concepts you've been bombarded by this, whether it's hybrids, they're going to take over and then they look like human, but and I'm like, all kind of things just to scramble your mind and create fear in your heart. And we go like, there's no need for that. Let's just talk about it. We're here to coexist with you. We're here to help you evolve. We're simply helping you remembering really, really who you are. And once you do, you're going to go, okay, I'm going to sit down with a nocturne and have a cup of tea because now I can be in the same frequency field. So I'm attempting to demystify, and I like to take little nut of fear and dismantle them and says, let's just reintroduce a concept in a different way, shall we? So I bring a different perspective because of who I am. I hope that makes sense.
Oh, it's beautiful. And I love bringing people together that I love. And it's my pleasure right now to introduce you to one of my favorite human beings, clearly of Pleiadian heritage. Vivian, this is our co-host for the night, my good friend Eden Amadora.
Nice to meet you, Vivian. Good to see you. And
it's a pleasure to meet you as well. And thank you for your gifts and your presence. And you are so Pleiadian. It's incredible. I love it.
I would love to deepen with you. This is so fascinating to me about a being who is fully Arcturian of consciousness, of connection to that star system, because I've met beings that really resonate with Arcturus. Can you tell us some of the qualities that Arcturians are bringing forward more than ever right now, and why this time is a time to really pay attention to the Arcturian message?
That's a fantastic question, Eden, and I'm grateful that you ask, because of the willingness of overall human being as a species to really evolve. You're really cracking the shell of your past. You're really cracking the shell of limitation, of fear, of being, indoctrined and pushed down. And because of this, your frequencies start to rise and stabilize through heart intelligence and higher consciousness. That interface or that bridge allow us ancient enlightened ones like the Arcturians to be able to bring in a more distinct direct frequencies and interaction. We have been very patient to, let's just say, bring just enough and match the pace of evolution over many generations. And ever since I've been on the planet, I can see and feel and witness how much the evolution has, really paced. There's an acceleration taking place. 10 years ago, this kind of conversation would have not been welcomed because the consciousness was in a very different state, different stages of movement and acceptance and all of this. So I really did over time really shift the pace and open the field more and more. This is why right now, so many people who are returning to accept their divinity, their galactic origin, and to know that to identify yourself as a Pleiadian, an Arcturian, a Sirian, a cosmic celestial being, or an angelic being, it's all part of understanding your divine eternal nature. It's pathways. Of course, everything leads to the prime creator. We understand that. We live in harmony and cultivation with the prime creator and the universal laws. But you have to take steps to be able to understand. Now, can you imagine if a being comes to you and says, declare to billions of people, you are divine beings, you are a spark of the entire creation, well, it will not even sink in as a reality because there's so many steps that need to be taking place. So right now, the frequencies of Arcturians and others are coming to the front center stage, so to speak, because we're about to help to stabilize the earth timing frequency into reascending naturally and organically without interference, without fear, and without distortion into the natural path of reascending again. And this is why there's so many people already relating to us, which to my delight. And many people may remember in their own soul ancestry or through their soul akashic records that they may have lived a few lifetimes with us or spent time with us, or they may remember us interacting with them in different form or when they were on a different planets. So it's all, you know, the expression all roads lead to Rome. So all pathways of your soul journey lead to these ancient connections, and we're finally reconnecting with each other on a whole different level. And believe me, it's been a long time coming, and it is delightful to be able to even just have these very enlightened, very heart-centered conversations and seeing hearts in the chat room rather than to see Fran going, oh, what is that? What is she talking about? You're seeing heart and joy and smile and going, I'm intrigued, I'm curious, I am ready. And that's a huge declaration of the heart. So I think
You
it's
can
right.
you can feel the ripeness and the awakening that is a huge wave now that cannot be stopped. It's exciting. I want to ask you another question about both this age of Aquarius that we're moving into. It's like a shift into a much different reality, and the new children that are coming in. And some of us have been tuning into things like the telepathy tapes with the kids that are not even speaking like we need to speak, and they're meeting in other dimensions. And do you, as an Arcturian, have any insights about this new wave of children? Oops, I think Scott's playing the song again. Okay. Sorry, Vivian. Should I reframe the question?
Yes, please.
about the new children that are coming in. There's something that many of us have been tuning into called the telepathy tapes, where
Ah, yes.
some of these new kids are not verbal, they're all telepathic now. Is there anything from an Arcturian perspective about this phenomenon?
Well, I love that because this phenomenon is nothing new. In fact, nothing is new. No one is reinventing the wheel. We're simply rediscovering it into a brand new state of opening. It's your approach to telepathy and recognizing very gifted children that allows you to finally feel like, wow, this project allow us to rediscovering as something that's very natural and organic. And this is part of the next phase of the human evolution is rekindling with natural abilities, how to heal your body, how to understand the language of your living ecosystem, opening to your pineal gland, the true purpose of your third eye, being able to reopen the pathways of connections, how your chakra system and the interdimensional counterpart of your chakra system are really encoding for you to utilize only from the earth perspective, but from a universal connection. So these souls who have returned into human form may represent the most ancient beings they are, and they knew that part of their soul purpose was to reintroduce something so natural, ancient, and yet forgotten in a way that is so pure and innocent, like a child. And I'm looking at these beautiful children, and one members of our community, Marianne, her eldest son, Luke, has come into that gift, is a very ancient being. And when he entered the body, he knew that the body will not be able to support him as much as who he represents. And as a result of it, he communicates mainly telepathically or through different form of very ancient language or symbols and all of this. So it's an invitation to recognize if those children can already learn from a book, communicate from across great distances. What are they teaching us? What is it that they are reminding us that has been retracted, atrophy, forgotten, and replaced with fear, replaced with lack of self-worth, replaced with doubt, replaced with identities that has been pushed onto our field? And that's why I mentioned earlier, we're cracking the shell and returning to the essence of who we are. And those children are leading the way that way. And I want to recognize Eden children or star children from all generational timelines, whether you are 5, 10, 8, 17, or even all the way to be 88 years old. You are still the star children that you have returned in your generations, and you make a difference. And the new soul coming in, it's because we of the previous generation have opened the field, shifted the dynamic, opened the energy of humanity and this earth. So when they come in, they can express their gifts fully. So it's all interconnected. It really is.
It's so magical, such a beautiful time to be alive. So exciting. Thank you.
There's a couple questions that have come in from our audience I want to present to Vivian.
Of course.
The first one is from Diara, and she asks, I noticed the light from Arcturus especially, and to me it seems to shine differently from the light from other stars. Can you speak to this? I've been wondering for years.
That's a great question. So observing the light of Arcturus that seems to shine on a different spectrum. So that's the point right here, is that, of course, from an astronomy perspective, when you look up into the sky, you see the reflection of lights that comes either from star system, constellations, whether it's clusters of stars or binary stars, or even constellation like Bootes. And we know that if you look at the Big Dipper, look at the handle and go straight line, you're going to find a star of Arcturus. What you see, this is just a 3D imprint of a star that is far much more conscious and vibrate in a complete dimensional state and a different dimensional realm. So the spectrum, the light spectrum that we are emanating through our realm or Arcturus realm is shifting. Think of it this way. It's almost like a beacon of light that we know that it is conscious and intelligence. And so the beacon of light has been sending some signals. And as the receiving end is giving us the okay that we can handle more, then we change. And that light spectrum is shifting alongside with the consciousness of the observer. And of course, you are the observer on this planet from the solar system within a tiny branch in the Milky Way. And we are light years away, but we are also coexisting in a higher dimension. So we understand the shift in the timeline. We understand how you perceive. We can see how your higher sensory perspective or your intuitive centers are shifting, evolving. So our ability to communicate with you is also evolving. And so we are thrilled to be able to share higher spectrum of light or light spectrum coming into your field. And if you've been noticing for years, that speaks volume about who you are and your capacity to receive those light spectrum. So this is wonderful.
Well, that's a perfect segue into our next question from Dr. Laura. She asks, Vivian, are there any ETs who vibrate so fast that it could be dangerous for humans to be close to them? We've heard stories about humans being burned or irradiated. No fear here. I'm just finding out if there need to be certain appropriate boundaries.
And that's healthy to approach. Appropriate, healthy boundaries are always necessary. So you have to think this way. I like to give this example. If an aquatic race that coexists in the depth of your oceans on this planet will invite you into the realm, would you just go like, oh, let me go take for a dip swim, and I'll take a deep dive, hands down, and going into the ocean and be crushed as a result because your physical vessel is not adapted to hold such pressure on the water. It's the same thing. Remember, it's all soul vibration, it's all frequency resonance. So if you were to come on board our vessel, for example, with the Arcturians, we will accommodate your visit and your light body consciousness, but you can only stay with us from a short period of time at a time, a little bit at a time, and you come back, a little bit at a time, you come back, because we understand that the frequency, the elevation, the speed of our frequencies will be very difficult to sustain over a period of time. So we have taken measurement of when species, whether it's Earth human beings or others from other civilization, comes to us to utilize our healing chambers, we adapt to match or to help that species vibration so they can be on board our vessel and gain what they need to gain. And then they're going to be released with ease and grace. So you will not even be able to recognize if there is a very high frequency being next to you, because you're no longer you're not in the same resonance field. It will be for you out of your perception. So the secret, live to the heart's intelligence, trust who you are. You have to love yourself. This is much more than a spiritual concept or a feeling good of the heart. It is true key of mastery. Love yourself unconditionally, accept who you are in all aspects of your being. And of course, self-worth, as we always say, is implied. Why? Because you are first and foremost a divine being of light, and only a fractal of you is coming into this form, in this realm of 3D and duality and linear time and opposition, because your soul comes to learn from this. But this is only a fractal of you. Would you say that if you take your hand, a little finger says, will I be burned? Will I be damaged if I connect with the other fingers of the hand? Well, it depends on your approach, but you're still part of all there is. So remember, it's all about frequencies resonance. It's something very, very high, or a being that is vibrating so high, you're going to need to really readjust your own vibratory state to be able to even match that and being able to recognize the being is there. So the story we heard about, bursting combustion, or, being human beings being burned, everything, there's a lot more to the stories that meets the eyes. But the bottom line is, it's all about frequency resonance. So it's higher consciousness connecting with another higher consciousness. I hope that makes sense.
Yes, I'm so excited to ask you a question. I hit the wrong button. I was really excited. We have a share about the Lord Master Sananda, also referred to as Jesus and Yeshua. And I'm wondering if you, from an Arcturian perspective, can speak about how certain master beings come in at certain times to assist our awakening, like yourself, that is a consciousness from a different place, and what you know about Sananda. Is he recognized on the other star systems? Is he still traveling through the cosmos in other forms? What do the Arcturians hold that appearance as? Who is he?
In regards to Sananda, we do recognize him as a very high, unified, sacred emanation that has succeeded into returning to perfect divine union. Master Sananda works with many other intergalactic groups and galactic alliances. He is also at the head master of the spiritual hierarchy, overseeing the Earth ascension. And so we have the joy of interacting with Sananda. I personally have met a few times Sananda emanation of light, and by his invitation, and I was taken a few times right in the realm of light. And one thing that Sananda, or the emanation of Sananda, really taught me firsthand is that you want to understand that everything that we're experiencing right now is a construct. Everything is a projection that serves a great purpose. It's a construct put in place to allow soul that may have been living for millions of years and wants to understand what it feels like to be in certain physical form, or feeling time or feeling the lower self to return into a more unified way into the complete higher self. So this construct, that's why he was showing me, we were in the realm of light. There was no form, there was no angel, no Arcturian, no galactic being, just light. It's omnipotence, omnipresence. It's everything. And when we were in that state of pure beingness, oneness, all there is, symbolically, I saw like a sliding door opening, and he pointed to me and he showed me the earth. We call her the blue pearl because she shines like a beautiful blue pearl energy. And she is very heart centered. So Gaia heart is very hard to resist. Believe me, this is part of what I'm here. She's so hard to resist. And so I saw her, the earth. I saw the solar system as you know it. I saw the stars. I saw that portion of Milky Way. And Sananda symbolically closed the sliding door and everything disappeared. We were just back in the realm of light. So I asked Sananda, have we traveled there? And his response is, we were never there. We never left the realm of light. There was a projection that you allow yourself to experiment, and then you simply return to the realm of light, and here we are. So from that point on, I can feel that everything that we are doing, everything is important, everything matters, everything is interconnected. Even in your day-to-day life, when you talk and you want to pray or feel to your heart, you're sending your thought forms, your heartfelt prayers to the masters of light or any beings, you are being heard by the entire language of creation. Everything is listening to you. So yes, at the same time, honor your soul ancestry. Like, I know that I am serving the prime creator as a nocturne being, but I know I'm still a divine being of light like you. That part of myself is important to be here, and I'm very dedicated to my mission. So sometimes people said, well, they're just star nations are like species. Well, you are God. Yes, you are source. You are infinite being. You are all there is. But if you start to understand how it starts within yourself, like exploring a sacred divine tree of life, and you start to honor each branch, each root, and how the design of that tree of life is a part of the ultimate tree of life of the universe, you start to really understand the pathway of remembrance. And that's also part of what Master Sananda was helping me to remember. And lastly, if I may, the other thing that Sananda showed me is he opened a map in front of me. It was almost like the blueprint. It was a blueprint of the planet Earth that we refer to as the new Earth. And he showed me the blueprint, and he pointed down, and he showed me that everything is unfolding. It's been unfolding for thousands and millions of years, have led to the design to where we are, and how naturally is heading into a brand new restructure, a new design that is forming. And I said, can I remember fully the design? And he said, not from a conscious perspective, because you are the design. You hold the blueprint within you. And so every life form on the planet is an aspect of the map I just showed you. So we are an aspect of that blueprint. This is why that we say, the Octurians say, remember that you're here by soul design. That soul blueprint that you carry within you, it's part of that grand unfolding divine design that we are witnessing right now. So this is beyond chaos, beyond disorder, beyond despair, beyond uncertainty. This is just movement of rocks on the surface. You are part of that design that is unfolding. And that's an aspect of what Master Sananda showed me. And I just respect that beautiful emanation that he is, that divine union that he represents. There's such a glow of light that just invites you to want to be that way and to know that it's accessible to you right here, right now. This is so much beyond your 3D personality. Nothing to do with that. Mm-mm.
So beautiful. Thank you so much for that. Is there time
You're
to ask
welcome.
another question? We have another good one in the chat. I don't know if
Yeah, I was going to ask the one from the chat, but if you've got one, go ahead with yours, and then I'll ask the question from Linda.
I think that I had another one that was building in my own heart, and that was Vivienne from your Arcturian consciousness. There are many people that resonate with being star seeds, and they feel like that is why they're so sensitive, and this sensitivity sometimes feels almost unbearable in the world of late with the political division and wars and the appearance of the polarity game on the planet. It would appear it's at a heightened frenzy, and the star seeds and the people that maybe have more of that, like angelic or Pleiadian or Arcturian connection, they often feel very like, was I born on the right planet? This is so hard. Is there anything you can say to reassure? And I mean, everything you're saying is already such a beautiful reassurance, but is there anything for those star seeds that really wonder? Am I in the right place? Was this the right choice to take form and 3D density?
The answer is yes, yes, and yes. That's because at the soul level, you have been chosen, you have accepted, you came through with all the encoding, source encoding, everything, the whole might of your soul Akashic records. So what it means is that you came in with a full library of soul experiences. And the star seeds, we call it star seed, is oftentimes referred to as a soul emanation that represent another civilization outside of the earth plane, whether you are a Sirian star seed, a Pleiadian star seed, Orion star seed, some Arcturian, we are rather rare birds on this planet in that form, Andromedan, Lyrians, so we love the Lyrians and others. So you know that as a soul level, your soul came to represent that soul dynamic, the frequency, the uniqueness of the core frequency of that very ancient group, and there's a purpose for it. Of course, it will feel very foreign here. Believe me, I know that very much so. I have learned to surrender with compassion. I have learned to understand that the earth has become my home away from home, so to speak. And I know that as I am here, I am not here at the same time. And that applies for everyone. Think about it for a moment. The lifetime that is given to you, this time frame, is very short. Even if you live to be 101 years old or 120 years old, or you live 59 years old, or even 25, or some baby come and they hold their needs and they leave the body at birth, whatever time frame it is given to you, feel that in your heart for a moment. This time frame is a unique imprint in time that will never, ever repeat itself twice. It is a unique imprint. Now, your soul may have had thousands of soul experiences in many, many lifetimes, but each of these imprints are unique, and that form the absolutely exquisite library of your soul experiences. So you start to tune into that. You start to understand that you are here and now exactly what you need the most by design, with the full might of your soul Akashic record, your library of knowledge, understanding. You are still a divine being representing maybe a star nation, maybe you represent the angelic nation or the angelic realm, maybe you are part of the fairy kingdom or the elemental kingdom. You bring these connections within the uniqueness, the design of your soul ancestry with your branches, your roots, your connection. And if you step out of your life stories from birth, upbringing, father, mother, guardians, grandmothers, and ancestors, and everyone who's played a role to mold your 3D personality. That's difference here. You may have a 3D personality that has been influenced by a great many things, but it's very different from who you really are, your original spark that may carry out a star seed the full knowledge of the Lyrans, for example, or the positive Orions, or you may have been an elemental from another planet or a fairy. You bring that in your spark, and you still have access to the full archives of all the sum of your soul experiences. So remember that it changed the dynamic of how do I identify myself. My 3D identity is what my 3D ego mind is very connected to. And it sounds very convincing because just like a video game or a movie, it's very engaging. There's a lot of emotion. There's a lot of baggage. There's a lot of joy, discovery, curiosity. There's a lot of history. And yes, your soul experienced that, but it's only your 3D personality. That's the one that you shed behind, that you release when you move on into the next stage of your soul journey. So feel that for a moment is who I truly am. I recognize that into my heart and also understand how my 3D personality self has been influencing me. And that's referred to your lower self versus your higher self. So it's really about how we are really watching everybody and be mindful of your words. Be mindful how you projecting your emotion and energy or perspective. Everything is just a perspective. What I bring is an Arcturian perspective within the human field, but it's a perspective. And so just really tune in and to know that you need to trust yourself, be refined, refine your language, refine your linguistic ability to communicate your thoughts, how you feel, what is it you really want to express. Feel that your energy that comes with your words are influencing everything. And all around the planet, even beyond the planet, we can see the thought emanations coming from this world. We can feel and see and perceive so many thought forms coming from the earth, traveling throughout the solar system like radio waves. So let's be more unified. Let's be more focused, dedicated, and cultivate first this inner harmony before you speak, before you write, before you push on a concept or an opinion or a perspective. Ask yourself, am I contributing to uplifting the entire community and the entire global consciousness? Or am I just adding more pebble in the pond? So this is important right now, the distinction here.
That's such a beautiful kind of closing thought, although I am going to ask one last quick question.
Of course.
And then we're going to take a look at your website and all of your different offerings.
Of course.
Somebody asked if you have human emotions, and I did put into the chat box the link to the previous show you and I did, one of the previous ones, where we had you and your husband on. And the spirit of Bewitched and the spirit of I Dream of Jeannie, it was I married an Arcturian hybrid. And it's a really fun show. So if you want to know more about the kind of human experience, especially of her husband, who's the sweetest guy in the world, the link is in the chat box for our Zoom room audience. But briefly, do you experience human emotions, and what's it been like for you adapting to the human experience?
Oh, yes, emotions. My goodness. I am ultra sensitive. I feel with all of my senses. All of my intuitive centers are open. I see, I feel, I decode, I read. I can bilocate at the speed of a thought. I feel the planet. So every morning I wake up and I can feel Gaia pressing against my heart. And I have to walk with Gaia and tell her, okay, I know I feel you. Let's just work together to release that energy. It has been quite a journey to adapt, to harvest, to cultivate, to understand the power of human emotions. And I will simply say, not only do I feel in space. At the same time, I want to remind everyone of the golden opportunity that the human spectrum represent. And there are species and the multiverses through too much technology have regressed spiritually. and have detached themselves from feeling. And as a result, there's a sense of disconnect from source, from prime creation. And where are they going to run to learn the most?
Yeah.
It's from you. So they're coming here on the planet or in proximity to your solar system to understand, as an attempt to reconnect with something they may have lost at the cost of too much technology that is non-conscious assisted. And that's a great pearl of wisdom I'm sharing with you right now. So honor your emotions, understand them, become the master of them. They are the key to your compassionate self and your true empathic self. And that is pure gold over any form of technology. Any species can come and offer you. Nothing can substitute that. Nothing. And we mean it. And we know, we've seen too many times in other planets where that aspect has been lost. And this is why we, the Octurns, I am here to support the organic timeline for natural ascension, not the technology one.
That's
Thank you.
so much wisdom. Thank you. I promised that was the last question, but Rachel from Facebook kept sending this one.
Of course.
Do you have any insight about the 3-eye atlas, what that is?
Yes, we're going to make it brief, beautiful, and uplifting. Forget about all of the projected theories, narrative control, and this is a beautiful, natural, interstellar phenomenon in the form of a asteroid or a beautiful energy that has been around for millions of years, and that interstellar form of consciousness carry the imprints of evolution, frequency, movement of countless of species. So imagine this way. Imagine if it would come into the stratosphere of the Earth and would come and land on the planet like a meteor, creating a crater. What you would see is a precious archive of very ancient archives of many imprints, memories of evolution that has been across the entire multiverse, countless of planets, star system, galaxies. So the archive, the frequency it creates, of course, it will influence your psyche, your consciousness, the movement of the sun, the interaction to the earth, the movement of dimensional frequencies, changes, evolution. It belongs to no one. It belongs to everyone. This is beyond a ship or a probe or a danger of ET invasion. None of that. It's a very natural, very ancient, millions of year old interstellar object that has contained the archives and the imprints of so many species. So it's a universal, if you want to call it this way, call it a universal connector. And tune in. Remember, it's consciousness connecting to consciousness. And there's nothing to fear. It's reminding you how much you are part of something infinitely more ancient that you may have led to believe, but now is a time to remember.
Oh, that is just such a perfect, isn't that even the perfect?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's been so reassuring and grounding and heart-opening having you offer your transmission tonight, Vivian. Thank you so much for this. Such a blessing for all of us to receive.
You are most welcome. So everything is natural, everything is organic. And when you are embracing yourself that way, you're going to discover the treasure that is encoded in you as you, and the door of the universe is open. It really is. So,
and we're going to open the door to your universe for a moment.
Oh yes,
because I know that our audience, everything you share is so important, and you've got a really lovely website with a lot of information. Vivian's website is and I love the name, infinitehealingfromthestars.com. Infinitehealingfromthestars.com. And there's a lot here. You can join her Arcturian University. What would you most like for us to show our audience or to encourage our audience to connect with you?
Definitely, if you click on the Arcturian University, it really is the jewel. The Arcturian University was founded at the request of Arcturian Council and the elders. And so we've created the official one on the planet. It's an online sanctuary. In fact, Scotty is a member as well. And we offering such a level of natural mastery. It's a deep journey of the soul, as it is also a community journey. And we are bringing back the living knowledge of universal concept in a way that can be practical, that can be also experiential. It's about choosing reascension, even on a deep molecular level, even a space between a space within you knows that you're holding the key to the universe. So we bring our Arcturian wisdom, our approach, guidance, and master courses, in-person retreat. In fact, we're about to announce the first in-person retreat for members, and we're going to also have the live stream available. And we're going to connect with Buddha in our upcoming retreat in 2026.
Wow!
Directly in Nepal.
So you're taking a group of people to Nepal.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are. Communing Buddha has been calling. He's been asking us to come, and I have accepted the invitation, and we're going to go there. We're going to be working with the morphogenetic grids of Nepal and India. I'm going to bring in the Buddha energy with us. I like to work with the masters as well. And so the live stream will be available publicly. The retreat are for members only, but the live stream will be available for everyone. So stay tuned. We'll post everything.
Okay. And for those of you who are interested in the Arcturian University, you go straight to the website, which is just that, arcturianuniversity.com. And that's where you can learn more about joining it. And I know that Scotty, one of our regulars, absolutely loves everything that you do. So, thank you so much, Vivian, it's always such a pleasure to have you with us. And I'm glad you got a chance to meet Eden. I'm sure the two of you will have your own collaborations. Eden has her own TV show. She would be a great guest for it.
Oh, nice. Nice. Wow, beautiful.
Love to go deeper with you in that format one day soon. That would be beautiful. Thank you, Vivian.
You're most welcome, Eden. It will be my pleasure. My door is open to you, of course.
Vivian, thank you so much. We love you.
And we love you too. And Scott, particularly to you, thank you for seeing me. Thank you for opening your door. Thank you for creating for years such a platform where we can come together and create a bridge and to see what else is possible for all of us. I'm very, very grateful for you as well. So my love and gratitude.
Thank you. It's wonderful watching your evolution, watching how you've just become, they made a movie about you, which we highlighted whenever it was that it came out. And,
yes,
now you're off to Nepal to work with the Buddha. I mean, it's exciting to watch your evolution as well.
Thank you.
We're all playing our parts in this awakening world.
We do. And I will have a second documentary coming up in 2026. So.
Well, let me know so we can preview it.
Oh, yes, we will.
And give my best to your husband.
Thank you.
Thank you. Well,
what an amazing show. Oh my goodness. No ordinary Wednesday night for us here. This is
not at all. It's been wonderful to have so many of people. And of course, Oma Shar's return. So we are going to hear from Oma Shar in a moment. But I want to let people know that I just learned that our beloved Eden is now a writer on Substack. And, we've had other authors. Recently we had Carolyn Brouard. I had read her Substack article, and that led to my inviting her to be on the show. So Substack is really a great way to get many of our favorite writers. And now that includes Eden. So go to edenamadora.substack.com. edenamadora.substack.com. Put in your email address and subscribe. And there's all sorts of ways that you can do that. So, for example, what I'm going to do is I'm going to subscribe on an annual level. Now, you can come in and get the free, or you can get it monthly. And I just subscribed for a year.
Oh, thank you, Scott. I want to say a little bit about what I'm going to be posting there. I'm currently working on my first whole book called She Who Loves. It is the journey of self-realization through the divine feminine mysteries, which you might find very similar to the Pleiadian message, I have a feeling, as people were speaking, as Marguerite was speaking, and even as Vivienne was speaking, I was like, wow, this is very similar to what I'm bringing through oracle, transmission, poetry, and personal stories that will take you on the journey of my inner alchemy, which I'm really going for it. I'm sharing some pretty deep stuff in there. So the reason I'm sharing it first on Substack is to build some of the community and the buzz for the real book that will be full color. It will be also an oracle deck, oracle card included. And, this is a way for everyone to feel the frequency, even if that whole book is coming out at the end of 2026. It takes a long time to write a whole book. And I'm just so grateful for authors and friends like Anodea Judith, who's being supportive and kind of helping assist this process, and to have been featured in her book before and her encouraging me to write this book. So yeah, it's a big leap for me, and I'm really grateful for any support from the community. So thank you very much, Scott, for sharing.
Absolutely. And I've got a couple of other announcements, and then we have an Omashur song. And then we're going to do another after show, Afterglow, a chance for people to stay and bring their prayers in. And Desiree and DR will be leading that. So we still actually have some wonderful things ahead. But I have a big announcement. We are going to do another season of Awakening World. And I thought tonight's show would be the perfect night to announce that. I knew that something big was going to come into my world. I could feel a big change was coming. And that's why I was not sure maybe I was going to stop doing Awakening World because of the big change. Well, we now know the big change was the death of my land partner and one of my best friends, Lucky. So that big change doesn't impact the Awakening World. Also, when I, wasn't so sure, so many of you wrote to me about how important the show is for you. And that really touched my heart in a big way. So we are going to do another season all the way through March of 2026. And so tonight is the night that I'm announcing. In fact, I just created the registration page for it. So here is the link to the registration page. For any of you that are watching on Facebook or YouTube, just send me a message, a Facebook message, and that you're interested in subscribing, and I'll send you the link. And we will also put it up on the Global Peace Tribe website, but it probably won't be up for a couple more days. So that's an exciting thing. Also, I want to let you know, a reminder that we've got a really fun event coming up. Some of you have already registered for it. We're going to conclude Thanksgiving week on Sunday, November 30th at 4 o'clock with a special program with Swami Beyondananda providing his wit and wisdom, Cornflower playing his amazing music, and I might offer a little something as well. So it's Sunday, November 30th. Please do join us. You can find the details at globalpeacetribe.com. I will also put the link into the chat box where you can register. And thank you to those of you who have registered. Last announcement that I want to make is I always like to let people know about our upcoming show. And just as tonight we welcomed back Eden and we welcomed back Omashur, I'm really excited. This Saturday night, we are welcoming back our beloved Tangela. Many of you know that Tangela took a break, and she's coming back and bringing some of her favorite soul search luminaries, including Kalina. And we all love Kalina. Kalina is like Viviane Chauvet, one of our favorite voices on the Awakening World. So make sure you join us on Saturday night. I can tell I'm about to lose my voice, so I better turn it over to Omashur.
Words are flying out like endless rain into a paper cup. They slither wildly as they slip away across the universe. Pools of sorrow, waves of joy are drifting through my open mind, possessing and caressing me. Jai Guru Deva. Oh, we are here to change our world. 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 Images of broken light which dance before me like a million eyes. They call me on and on across the universe. Thoughts meander like a restless wind inside a letterbox. They tumble blindly as they make their way across the universe. Jai Guru Deva. Oh, we are here to change our world. 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 Sounds of laughter, shades of life are ringing through my opened ears, inciting and inviting me. Limitless, undying love which shines around me like a million suns. It calls me on and on across the universe. Jai Guru Deva. Oh, we are here to change our world. 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 Jai Guru Deva. Jai Guru Deva. Jai Guru Deva.
The perfect song for a perfect show. Just amazing.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's funny. I always feel reticent about playing someone else's song, but it said, "You're going to play me tonight." And so I did. Thank you.
Great choice. Absolutely great choice. And we may need you to play another song in a moment because it's a birthday. And it is a birthday of one of our favorite people, someone who's been changing the world for many, many decades. It is Andrew, our beloved Andrew's birthday week. His birthday, I guess.
Really?
Yeah. And now, Andrew, as you may know, we have a Global Peace Tribe tradition that when it's somebody's birthday, we want you to share with the audience your vision for this next cycle around the sun. And we're all going to bless it, hold it, send you our maximum grace for your vision. What's your vision for this next cycle around the sun?
Oh, Scott, do you remember exactly 1 year ago, right after the election, I was in a state of I was flattened. And it's been this extraordinarily deep dive into the dark potential of the human species. And this time it's completely different. It's like emergent, re-emergent. I'm brought to think about my age, which is now 82, and 81 is 9 cycles of 9. So I've just created 9 cycles of 9 years. And so it's the beginning of that cycle, which is interacting with the cycles of 7 years. And I'm in my 12th phase of 7-year cycles to age 84. And I'm feeling a profound emergence. And this show tonight has been very relevant to what's coming through to me, for me, within me, which is quite extraordinary, actually, because I wasn't expecting it. And it has to do with Sananda. It has to do with Atlantis. It has to do with Lemuria, and a number of things that I really have kept very private. I haven't really shared them before. But I'm going to share one thing quickly here, and that is a lot of my spiritual training came from the Sufi path, and my first teacher was Pir Vilayat Inayat Khan, who many of you may have heard of or have known back in the day. And when he initiated me, well, every time he would initiate someone, he would offer them a name. My sweetheart at the time was a young lady from India, and he gave her the name Satya, which is truth. He gave me the name, on the other hand, Basilia, Basilea. And if you look that up, you will see that it was a role, it was a title, and it was the person. And apparently I was in a female body at that time. And Connie often says I'm more attuned to my feminine than to my masculine, and she's more attuned to her masculine than to her feminine. And apparently, in a female body, I was the Basilia, who was the person who was responsible for the design, construction, and maintenance of the central pyramid of Atlantis. That kind of stuff is emerging. And this all started just about a month ago. I thought I should design a logo. I wanted to get some sort of sacred symbol that would express the work I'm doing and the work we're doing together. And it turned out to be an emergence from Sananda, which is interesting because when I just came to Santa Cruz, California, back in 1970, I formed an organization called the Sananda Foundation. I had no idea what that meant, who Sananda was, any of that I had no idea. But I thought it was a consciousness institute that we tried for several years to establish, related to what became the Omega Institute that I was involved in the early days, and Esalen, and this entire consciousness thing we're doing. And so somehow it seemed like Sananda was speaking through me. So what's happening now is an extraordinary emergence. Many of you know that Connie and I have been at Sunrise Ranch in the Rocky Mountains for the last 8 years. And our agreement has terminated, and we're off into the great unknown, and we're just in the midst of preparations for this extraordinary change in our lives, and it's ridiculously exciting. Just tonight, we got confirmation that we are part of the Holo Movement wave in Cascais, Portugal, at the end of May next year. We're going to be media, we're going to be interviewing people and documenting a lot of it. And that I've been very much wanting to attend, but we didn't know how on earth we could do that, how we could afford it. Well, they just got a hold of us and said, you guys are on the list. You're working, you're part of the team. That is absolutely incredible. So next May, we launch for England, Portugal, and I'm anticipating an entire year of journeying back to my home where I was born, which is England, and back to where I grew up, which is Africa, South Africa. And I'm just anticipating the most extraordinary year of my life and our relationship, darling. So
Yes.
that's it. The honeymoon continues.
That's fantastic. And in the spirit of your British background, here is your British comrade with a Celtic birthday song for you.
Ah, wonderful. My father's Scots.
Sorry, carry on.
I was just saying my father's Scottish, so this is very appropriate. I'm a Celt deep in there, deep in here.
We forgive
Thanks,
you.
Al-Mashar.
May the road rise up to meet you. May your troubles melt away like morning dew. For 'tis on this day that we gladly pray that the happiest of birthdays comes to you. May the wind always be at your back. May you fortunes always bring you peace and joy. For 'tis on this day that we gladly pray that the happiest of birthdays comes to you. So to you, dear Andrew, we salute you, and we hold you in our hearts and minds so dear. For 'tis on this day that we gladly pray that the happiest of birthdays comes to you. Happy birthday, dear Andrew. Happy birthday to you. For 'tis on this day that we gladly pray that the happiest of birthdays comes to you. For 'tis on this day that we gladly pray that the happiest of birthdays comes to you. And that the happiest of birthdays comes to you. Happy birthday,
great song.
man, to the next 80 years.
Oh,
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
Woo.
what an amazing show. And how we celebrate somebody is to mute. There we go. To celebrate our beloved Andrew. And I look forward to tracking what takes place over his next 82 years. I am going to stop the recording of the show because as we enter the after show and the afterglow,